2. And you got to think that if this is in anyone's wheelhouse, it's Tia Toomey.
And as Nick was saying, is like if any opportunity to bounce back, this is the event. She's one of the fastest women in the field. She's one of the strongest women in the field. And that's what you need to be in this event. Move fast, lift heavy. Both is the only option for someone like Tia-Clair Toomey to get herself back into contention for that podium spot and that 6th consecutive championship.
20 women will be on the field for this second of 2 heats. Cara Saunders can certainly move a barbell. Some of her event wins at the CrossFit Games have come with a heavy barbell in her hands. And watch out for Turi Helgadottir, who will be able to move well on the run, as well as Haley Adams. Danny Spiegel, always dangerous when she gets her hands on a heavy barbell. And Christy O'Connell, a very, very talented runner. But there is Tia Toomey, 200 points here, looking to get herself back into the top 5.
And I think that's what's great for Tia is, just as you said, Sean, 200 points are up for grabs in the next 15 minutes. Only 300 were presented for them yesterday alone. So nearly an entire day's worth of points in 15 minutes.
And the 2 youngsters on top of the overall standings. On the right, Mal O'Brien. On the left, 17-year-old Emma Lawson.
This is where expectations start to raise the pressure on these young up-and-coming athletes. You did not expect to be wearing a leader jersey, I am sure, after day number 1, let alone in your second or first individual CrossFit Games experience out here with the big guys.
Stand by.
2-minute window here to run 400 meters and then max shoulder to overhead. And we're still waiting on the official totals, but we do know that Gabriela Magawa is the fastest runner, and Amanda Barnhart had the best total unofficially on the shoulder to overhead in heat number 1.
And the question for a lot of these athletes, and it's always individual case-by-case basis, is where can you get the most time the easiest way possible? A lot of times it's really on the first run, because when you look at the distance that they have to cover, it's not very much. There's less turns. There's more opportunities to use some of that adrenaline. But you don't want to tip the scales too much in the other direction as far as building up too much of that lactic acid, which is exactly what these sprints are designed to do. Obviously, we're trying to test your work capacity and speed, but your ability to recover and your ability to lift heavy under that fatigue and duress.
Haley Adams is out front here.
Haley got to wear the white jersey yesterday for the first time after event number 1. And I tell you what, this is a tale of 2 things for Haley. One of the best sprinters and runners in the women's division, but as we know, the strength portion is going to be tough for her. But one thing people don't understand is Haley's ability to move high percentage lifts for reps. She might not have the best 1-rep max, but close to her max. 90%ers, she's not bad at cycling that bar.
And there is Tia Toomey with about 15 seconds to go here. Haley Adams was on the barbell as well, as was Danielle Brandon. So all the women getting to work here on this set of shoulder to overhead. No rep in the background there for Rebecca Fuselier. Now final seconds.
All right, Tia got about 4 reps.
And Haley Adams came in about 6 seconds ahead of Gabby Magawa's pace from heat number 1.
I think for Haley, her only option is to try to win the sprint. We know she's not going to be a top finisher in this strength test, right? This isn't an isolated max lift. It's high volume reps at a very high percentage weight for Haley. And so to offset that, she needs to fight for those 100 points. As we advance the run, this is a better thing for Haley. You're taking what she's great at and giving her more opportunity to be great at that and at least distance herself from the field in the sprint. She just has to get, even if she gets mid-pack, which is totally doable for someone like Haley in this specific movement, it's going to be a huge win for Haley.
So unofficially, Danielle Brandon, Tia Toomey, and Mal O'Brien all got 5 reps in that first round.
Danielle Brandon, about mid-pack here. Great sprinter. This is not just a, sprint around the field. This is a total of 1,800 meters of running. A mile is just right above 1,600. And so when you put that in, it's like, hey, sprint a mile. They're going to be running cumulative faster than basically their mile PR. You got to keep that into account. How do you feel after a dead mile sprint? Well, just like that, dead after a mile sprint. Now, you do get to break this up, but when you layer in that heavy cycling barbell, I like this event for Danielle Brandon's skill set as well. She's not going to be the fastest one out there, but she is one of the best female athletes when it comes to a shoulder to overhead movement.
Haley Adams is in the lead. Looks like Tia Toomey in second and Christy O'Connell in third on the 600-meter run. O2 is the official recovery drink and hydration mix of the Noble CrossFit Games. Visit drinko2.com/CrossFit for $25 site-wide on O2 recovery drinks and hydration mixes.
Haley was ahead by quite a bit early on, but Tia Toomey is starting to catch up to her. Now for Haley, even if Tia catches up, if they can get a net zero on this, she still has a near 6-second advantage going into the final 800.
And Toomey is well ahead of the two women who are on top of the overall standings, Emma Lawson and Mal O'Brien, right now in the 600-meter run. 3-minute window here as Haley Adams probably has about 1 lap remaining, as is Tia Toomey. She makes the turn. She was on the left side of your screen, but Haley Adams is now opening up a lead here.
She definitely just kicked in another gear.
Here comes Toomey. And then Brooke Wells at the bottom of your screen. Here comes Haley Adams.
Good amount of time. Haley's taking a little walk. It looks like Tia's just sprinting right to her platform.
Here comes Tia. That'll be 6 for Tia, as she's now the leader in the lift. As Danielle Brandon and Mal O'Brien are now just getting onto the barbell. Tia's through 7. 10 seconds to go in this window. Danielle Brandon and Mal O'Brien are a rep behind Tia. And I'm not sure they got that. We'll see what the judge calls on that one, but that was close. Tia Toomey unofficially with 11 total reps. Mal O'Brien at 10. Danielle Brandon at 10.
And this is the big opportunity. 2 minutes on the clock. And just trying to get a little bit of water. There's a, it's beautiful out here, but it's, sun beating down on you in 2 minutes. We've already sprinted for 1,000 meters. So how can they recover before this final 800?
Let's go back down to Nikki Brazier on the field.
Well, that's a really good question, and I think made more complicated by the fact that it is incredibly hot down here. Not a cloud in the sky is offering a single drop of shade for these athletes. So how can they recover, of course, from the difficult task at hand, but also how can they recover in this heat might make a difference here in this final round.
Mal O'Brien has been behind the pace on the run, but she is right there with Tia Toomey on the shoulder to overhead. 1 rep behind her as they get set for the third and final window. 4 minutes now to run an 800-meter loop, and then max jerks at 200 pounds.
Adding another minute, 4 minutes of total work available. And for Tia sitting in that 9th place position, this, again, we said, is such a great opportunity to pretty much quiet all the noise going into the 3rd day of competition tomorrow. With these 200 points available, 100 in each one. Max reps as 1 score, total cumulative time as another.
Haley Adams, 6th place overall right now. She had her first career event win yesterday in the opening event. So final window here, 4 minutes, 800-meter run, max shoulder to overhead. Gabby McGowan, the top runner from heat number 1 with a cumulative time of 6 minutes, 11 seconds unofficially. Still waiting on a total from Amanda Barnhart in the shoulder to overhead. Now Toomey is starting to pull even with Haley Adams early on here in this 800-meter circuit. Christy O'Connell is there on the right side in the black shorts, and bottom of your screen, there's Brooke Wells.
And Haley, a nice long stride, looks very comfortable. And as you said, this is a great opportunity for Haley to still get a big score, able to get 100 points potentially here for 2A. And as far as total reps, again, Haley traditionally in any strength test is usually bottom 10. We even saw it at the semifinal. With this type of test, you know, you take a strength test, you turn it into a barbell cycling test with that shoulder overhead, something fairly new that we've seen here at the games. If she can just get mid-pack or really above, get kind of that middle third. I mean, last year she stood at a barbell and got 0 in one of the tests and still got in the top 5. That's how good she is at everything else. And if she can sneak 100 points out of this, finish mid-pack, 2/3, that's going to be great for Tia going forward, or for Haley.
Here comes Haley Adams as we're past the 2-minute mark, so more than halfway through this 4-minute window. Adams getting set to lap Danny Spiegel, who's at the bottom of your screen. 6 minutes, 11 seconds, the total run time from Gabby McGowan, the leader in heat number 1, and Adams is well ahead of that pace right now.
You know, I don't know where Adams' total reps is yet, but that's the weapon that the sprint can be against some of the athletes who are traditionally going to beat you in a strength test, is that you just get more time to get more opportunities at the reps, where some of these other ones, if they can't get enough time to get the lifts in, yes, they could be stronger than you and do more reps, but when they don't have enough time, that's a big element of this test as well.
Less than a minute to go now. Haley Adams putting the finishing touches on this 800-meter run. And she's going to have a really good amount of time, more than 30 seconds, to get as many lifts as she possibly can. And right now she has 6 total. The Haley Adams on the left, Tia Toomey's on the right. Toomey's your leader in the lift portion of this event. She's through now 12 shoulder to overheads. Now Mal O'Brien is just getting back to her barbell.
And Tia is just destroying these shoulders. She doesn't even take her hands off the barbell. She keeps it locked in, rolls it in, and what's good for her too is just that nice, quick, concise shoulder to overhead, not even doing a split jerk that a lot of these athletes are having to resort to.
Tia Toomey's going to unofficially get credit for 18 lifts. Looking like she's going to win this portion of the event and pick up 100 points. And she got some help from Danielle Brandon in the lift portion. Brandon able to get between Toomey and Mal O'Brien. And we'll have to see if any scores from heat number 1 factor in here. But 18 shoulder to overhead for Tia Toomey. Haley Adams looking to lock up another 100 points and win the run portion of this event.
Huge for Tia Toomey. As we said, the perfect opportunity for her to just right the ship. Definitely not the day she wanted yesterday. For sure not the placing she wanted coming into the second day of competition, but right from the start, we saw Haley Adams take it out pretty quick, but Tia was right on her heels. And for Tia, we were speaking of how well Haley was doing, but she might have the second or third best run of all of them. And that was one of her first reps. And sometimes it just takes to get a feel for, okay, how is my body going to feel after the sprint? And the whole time, she's keeping her hands on the barbell, being very particular as far as her setup was concerned. And what I like too is that opting for that push jerk, so she's not splitting her feet. That's a quicker cycle time, less time under tension overhead because she doesn't have to stand her feet together, and that just allowed her more opportunities to get reps overhead.
Send it down to Nikki Brazier.